represent. We rolling up as a posse. It was a world-class experience from the second we walked in, and I think that's what impressed me the whole week. It was just a cool, just a wow factor the whole time. The athlete check-in experience was something I'll always remember. We rolled into the NoBull locker room to see my locker with my name on it, and 5 pairs of shoes and a whole new wardrobe essentially was so cool. I knew we were gonna get spoiled by NoBull, but I didn't quite understand the extent. And then to be able to share that with Madison and Michelle was an even cooler experience. Madison was the star of the show in the locker room. She was trying on all the gear. She was in everyone's lockers. She didn't quite understand that a not kid-friendly environment. But anyways, we had so much fun, got tons of gear, essentially a uniform for each workout, which I thought was so cool, because when I put my uniform on, my jersey on, it was like game time. And as a hockey player, you're so used to just like getting geared up in your locker room and wearing, when I do online comps and stuff, I have I'm super focused on having my gear laid out and all that, but then to put on a jersey with my name on it got me in the zone just a little extra for all the workouts, and wearing that on the field. We actually wore our shirts more than I thought we would. I thought we were going tarps off every workout, which was so cool. So yeah, from the second we walked in there, then we walked out of the NoBull locker room and got our headshots done. From there, we walked through all the vendors and the sponsors and spoiled us. So it was cool. It was just, it tipped off the week. And I would say at that point, things started getting real. I was trying to the road trip and, getting to Madison, I was trying to stay calm, cool, and collective. And then I would say once that check-in happened, then things started to rev up a little. I was in an interesting state, because even a few people from the gym asked Michelle, how is he? Is he, on edge? And I was pretty calm, cool, and collective. I think I was just so happy to be there and so grateful to be there. That whole, qualifying experience and getting in the top 10, I knew that the odds are so small, and just to get there was the goal. And not that I didn't have big goals for the week, but I was pretty just happy to be there and excited to be there, but not necessarily nervous or anxious or anything until the workout started. And I love to be over prepared, if anything, so I was so happy we were there, well in advance. And after athlete check-in, got to go into the training hall and get a really good sweat on. We just drove for 10 hours the day before, got a great workout in 2 days before, and just that calmed me again, just to get comfortable in that environment. I knew I was going to be spending most of the week in that training hall with the other athletes. Prep, there's so much to be done. Got to hit the grocery store up, got to start to prepare all the meals. It gave me a chance to get some really good meals in 2 days out and prepare for the meals the day before. Monday, the day before, we had a big athlete brief, which went over the workouts for day 1 and just kind of set the tone again for the week. The CrossFit team, the judging team, the athlete team, they did such a good job of making that brief, that first one especially, a little extra special by welcoming all of us there and just the professionalism of that team at work, and the demo team was so cool to, you know, see them demo all of the workouts that we were going to do, and it was just all about preparation, just all about getting settled in, you know, finding a routine, finding, you know, how long is it going to take us to get from the hotel to the Lion Energy Center? How long, you know, should we be, you know, preparing in advance and all of that stuff. So
Adam, what do you think about the setup for the first workout?
Such a cool setup. I'd never been in North Park before, and it's pretty wicked. The lifting platforms at the far end, and then carrying those sandbags across the field. It's Zeus, look at this thing. Pumped to get out here.
Day one, we had 3 scored workouts, but really it was like 2 times that we were going on the field. And we didn't start till 1 in the afternoon. So that was different for me because I'm used to training first thing in the morning. So the joke was I was like a caged animal in the hotel room just pacing around all morning. But it was good because it gave me a chance to get a huge breakfast in and then a second meal, call it a huge lunch, and then get over to the training hall. I would say I warmed up for like 2 hours before that first workout because I had to snatch, I had to clean and jerk, then I had to do, we had wall balls, farmer's carries, burpee. There was just so much work to be done that the warm up was, I got there like 2 hours before, and the process of 40 minutes before your heat goes, you get corralled, your heat gets corralled. So I was ready 20 minutes, so an hour before I was gonna go on the field, I was totally warmed up and ready, and I'm like, Michelle, I think I might have started my warm up a little early. I see all the other athletes in my group, they're like still warming up, still ready, and I'm like, no, I'm like, I already hit my opener for the snatch and clean and jerk, and I was fired up and ready to go well in advance. So that was kind of like the lead up to event 1. And then this is the I would say the trickiest for a new athlete was 40 minutes before you get called. So we're in the warm-up hall 40 minutes before our heat goes in. Then we walk over to North Park, that's where the first workout was, which takes like 10 minutes. And then at North Park, you warm up again. You have another 20 minutes to warm up. So just the nutrition and the fueling and the hydration in all of that period, I made sure I had a gel like 30 minutes before every workout. I was drinking tons of water with electrolytes and sodium in it just to stay hydrated. I knew how hot it was going to be on the field. I had just warmed up for like 90 minutes, as I said. So there was just so much preparation that went into the process of getting ready to go on the field. So that was, that's the precursor to the starting of the fun.
Guys side.
How's the coach feeling, Michelle?
With a big lead right now.
Nervous.
Coach is nervous. So if you channel the nervousness, then Adam's not nervous.
Fine,
Yeah.
exactly. He was nervous. I was saying he was ready to go this morning. Then he got nervous, and now I think he's settled in and ready to rock. So we'll see.
Gotta get the first one under the belt.
First one under the belt.
Okay, so event 1, what a crazy kind of scary way to start for me. It was max snatch and max clean and jerk, which everyone knows that's not really my forte. Monday night, we're having a big, we had a pasta dinner, cliche, but we were cooking some chicken breasts on the barbecue and cooked a big pot of pasta, and we're sitting down outside at the hotel, and we're on the patio, and Josh and Emma and Jack and the whole team are out there, and we're just relaxing and having fun. And I don't know who asked Josh, but somebody asked Josh, so what's Adam gonna hit? He saw in his notes that you want him to hit 250 snatch and 315 clean and jerk. Like, what do you think he's gonna hit tomorrow? And he just casually says, no, he's gonna hit 250 and 315. And we all kind of laughed. And when a coach believes in you like that, if you even like doubt, if I was picking those numbers, I probably would have said, oh, you're just, dreaming. But when someone who like has watched your training process and knows what you can do says it, it's just a different sense of confidence, almost like, no, like this is the number I need to hit. We laughed about it after. We got a little video of him saying, looks like I was right.
Last minute dinner, we told Adam that he was going to hit a 250 snatch and a 315 clean jerk. And he didn't really believe us, but that's exactly what he did. So clearly we know more than that.
And then we rolled into event 2. It was only 1 minute after event 1.
I just wanna go.
You gotta send it, buddy.
Whoa! What an event 1. Couple PRs on the...
Huge PRs, buddy.
Yeah, huge.
I was like,
250?
well, do or die.
Josh knows his athletes.
They weren't bad.
They were great.
They weren't horrible.
Nothing like missing 225 and then hitting 250.
Yeah. I wanted to get the jitters.
We all knew 225 wasn't going up right away.
No. I needed 1 minute.
Yeah.
I don't lift enough to need that many attempts.
No, that too.
That's a tough workout.
That's a tough, it's so hot. I was gonna grab a water out of the cooler.
Halfway? Fuck you. I dare you.
120 degrees Fahrenheit, just like on that surface of the field. So we had a sandbag carry, some burpees, and then huge amount of wall balls. So we had 100 wall balls in that workout. But it was a workout that I wanted to do well in. I knew it was one of my opportunities to finish high on the leaderboard in this one. So I did put some pressure on myself to push the pace here. And 4th place finish for me, which I was super pumped about. Event 3 was later that day, and it was Helen. And Helen was another one I had on my list. I knew it was going to be a fast workout. Really, it came down to the running. And I knew I had to push the pace here because I wanted a good score again. But I had already realized at this point, I'm like, man, like this group of 10 athletes, these guys are monsters and they're gonna push me. Everyone went out hard on that first run. And for those of you who were able to watch live, I came back from the first run. I was in a good spot, but on the first round of pull-ups, I got a no rep, and it was kind of a miscommunication between me and my judge. I jumped down from the pull-up, started running to go out for the second 400-meter run, and he yelled at me to come back and do the rep that I missed, which in that workout, I think, we were separated by like literally seconds at the finish line. So I knew I was gonna have to make up some time. So I did that rep, and then I wouldn't say like I overexerted myself on the second round. I tried to claw back, a couple seconds. So the second round was pretty seamless, but then on the third round, I kind of said, you know what, like do or die here. Let's push the pace and see what can happen. So after the run on the third round, I got myself back up to second because I knew the guy beside me in the lane beside me was leading, and he got a no rep on the kettlebell swings. So I actually was in the lead going into the final set of pull-ups, but I was already pushing the limit on my speed and my fatigue. So I jumped up for the pull-ups pretty gassed, and I didn't get a good rhythm or a good grip, or maybe it was just fatigue. But on the 10th rep, I had to drop down, and that like 3 or 4 seconds that it took me to come down and go back up, I lost that first place spot. First time I had experienced like that no rep feeling and having to like rally from that. And like Michelle said and a few other people, they were just like proud of me for not losing my composure and sticking with it and digging deep to try to claw back. Day 2 was a 3-event day and the opening ceremonies in the middle of the day. So we knew that it was going to be the most grueling day of the weekend. The first event was the gymnastics chipper. When we got back to the box jumps on the way back, I was halfway through my box jumps and all of the other guys in our heat were already done. So I'm like, oh man, I wanted to be in the Coliseum. This is my first time and now I'm on the floor alone. Like I'm in the spotlight. So I made kind of, light of the situation, and I finished the last handstand walk with like, the typical CrossFit, like everyone cheering me on to do it. And so it ended up being fun, and just had to put it behind me and get ready for the rest of the big day. Second event of that day was pulling power, it was called. Rope climbs, heavy deadlifts, and then a bunch of work with the sled. I crossed the finish line like totally like at my maximum capacity, so I was happy with just being able to push the limits and give it everything I got. So that was event 2. You could say that, a 6th place finish and a 9th place finish to start day 2 was like, oh man, this guy, he could be done for the weekend or the week, whatever you want to call it. But I was actually feeling pretty happy with the way I, pushed through the gymnastics chipper and how I dug deep on the pulling power. And then the 5K was at night. So I was like, okay, this is the workout that I was excited for. We're all tired. I'm tired. Our legs are smoked. But this is my chance. Michelle and I were about to leave the hotel room and I'm like, Michelle, I'm giving myself permission to win this 5K. And she's like, what do you mean? I'm like, honey, all I'm gonna say is that I'm giving myself permission to win this 5K. And she's like, go and do it. So I knew going into it, obviously I had a really good chance of winning it, but with all the fatigue and all the, how tough it is mentally to push through the week, I knew that, if I got in a race with someone or if I, wasn't feeling 100%, I could easily make an excuse and say, finish strong, but you don't have to win this. You don't have to win it. So going into the 5K, I had that mindset, and the lead pack of runners went out super strong, and I kind of chuckled to myself. I'm like, I don't know who these guys are, but I don't think they have any clue how to pace this event. So it was a 3-lap event. Each lap was a mile, and I was in about 6th or 7th place after the first lap. But I'm like, you know what? I'm sitting within striking range of the lead pack. I'm feeling good. I'm totally in control. Let's wait till the 3rd lap. So the 2nd lap, I kind of just, stuck to my pace, hung in there. At the end of the 2nd lap, a few guys had dropped off. So by this point, I was in like 4th or 5th spot. But there were 2 guys in my age group that were still in front of me. So I was like, man, I'm gonna have to dig deep here if I not only want to win this workout, but like win it for my age group. But halfway through the the final lap, the 3rd lap, I kind of flipped the switch and said, let's go for it. So there was a hill at about the halfway point of each lap. And on the final lap on that hill, I just kind of, put my head down and went. And I passed 2 or 3 guys on the hill. And then I made the final pass of the young 16-year-old at the top of that hill and just kept pushing it. I knew that if I passed them with authority, they hopefully wouldn't come and chase me down, and they didn't. But the feeling of coming back into the stadium and just the excitement and the surprise from all of the Team ADJ fans that were there. They're like, here comes the 16-year-old. No, it's Adam coming in. Oh my God. They weren't expecting me to roll into the stadium first. And
Adam Jong is going to take the 5K and lock up 100 points. And the rookie looking to move inside the top 5 here.
It was an amazing experience, and then to be able to celebrate with all of them after the event and seeing just the emotions of, like, you know, winning an event and you know, being proud of just the push and the drive and the fight to do that. So
well done.
that was definitely a great way to finish day 2 and a good way to set the tone going into day 3, the final day.
2 workouts to go.
There we go.
There we go.
Into the coliseum, ready for battle. Smash the machines or get smashed, one or the other.
What about the last workout?
Do or die. It's gonna be 6 minutes or less. Short and sweet. It's gonna hurt. The scoring system, you can get up to 100 points on every workout. And then because there were 10 people in our division, second place got 90, third place got 80. And like I said, the battle between third place and sixth place was never more than 50 points at any point in time. So I think going into the final day, I was tied for 4th and like 30 points out of 3rd, 40 points out of 6th. Going into the final day, we only knew one of the 2 workouts. The first workout was called Endure the Coliseum. It was a huge workout. In theory, it was a good workout for me, but at this point, I just knew how strong all of the guys in my division were, and I was super worried that they were just gonna put out so much power on these machines that I was gonna fall behind. So going into the Coliseum for the second time, I was like, I would say I was more nervous and doing more pacing than ever. But Michelle, this one was more a battle with myself, and I kind of wanted redemption over that gymnastics chipper, which was also in the Coliseum. So I ended up finishing that workout in 3rd place, which I was nervous about and pumped that I was able to get a strong finish on that one. Final workout, it was pure CrossFit. 20 bar muscle ups and 30 dumbbell squat snatches. 2 movements that good for me, but I knew that the guys in this heat were just gonna smash this workout. And I had a game plan going in, but like I said, in day 3, I kind of had to just throw it out the door and just go for it. We watched the girls in the heat before us, which was our age group of ladies, and I think all of them did 20 muscle ups unbroken. And I looked at Michelle and I'm like, we're gonna have to do 20. I'm like, the guys are gonna do 20. And she's like, Adam, you got yourself in this awesome spot. What more could you ask for? And she used the line which everyone knows, pressure's a privilege. And she's like, don't be nervous, don't be unconfident. Just be excited that you've worked this hard and put yourself in this spot, and go do whatever you can do out there. So I'm standing in the corral with kind of like a different mindset now after that little conversation. And I'm like, I just got to do something that I've, never done before. I got to push past my, limits that I have in my head. I was originally going to break the bar muscle ups 9, 7, and then 4, which I knew in this scenario wasn't good enough. So I told myself, you just got to go for it. And I ended up doing 15 and then taking a short break and somehow grinding out those last 5, which put me still near the back of the pack going into the squat snatches, but in a way better place than I would have been. And I got 1 no rep out of 30 DB squat snatches, and I quite frankly, I don't even know where I finished in that last workout. But when I finished and I saw that my time was 3 minutes, I was like, man, never in my life would I think that I could do 20 bar muscle ups and 30 DB squat snatches in 3 minutes. And I was just pumped with the way that, I was able to use my mindset and just push to a new level. Yeah, squeaked into that top 5 in a pretty stacked field, a very stacked field. I think the first place Sam Dancer is a longtime games athlete. Second place Papadopoulos, we called him the Greek god. He's been to the games a few times. Third place Wong, he won it last year. He won the 35 to 39 last year. He was a sneaky good athlete. He just did everything kind of like really well. And then Scott Panchik, the legend, he finished 4th. So to finish, in a dogfight with him all weekend was a really cool experience. What's next? Nothing on the direct radar. I'm sure it's only 1 week out, so I'm sure it won't take long to, a list of about 10 things will come up. It's a weird time of year because Ironman season is kind of like in peak race season right now, so it's not a good time to just try to hop into that season. CrossFit season is just finishing, so got to think about what next year looks like. I've had it on my list for a while now. I really want to do a High Rocks race, which is a new kind of like CrossFit style of racing. So I'll see if I can. If they come to Canada, I'm doing one of the High Rocks races for sure. If not, hopefully try to find one that lines up on the calendar. But for now, Michelle's got a big half marathon in October, so I'm gonna make sure that I support her on that. And my training, I just want to keep I want to find this, perfect blend between staying strong and keeping a crazy good aerobic capacity. So I'm going to try to blend some really good strength work with some good triathlon, swim, bike, run work, and just have a solid couple months of just good training.
Any final words or thoughts on the whole experience?
Without Team ADJ and the support of my community, the way that the LP community rallied around me and supported me, and my family, picking up the slack where I needed it for the past few months, and Michelle, the million IOUs that I have outstanding to you. It was just so cool to see, and I had in my mind, I ask myself this question all the time, like, why do you do this? Like, are you selfishly doing it for just you, or are you doing it, why? And just to see the community around me get so excited by just the whole experience, and me pushing my limits and suffering and digging deep, that was the reminder that I needed. Like, these are why I do these, Ironmans and CrossFit competitions and push the limits, because I want to inspire our community. I'm a leader in this community, and I want to be there for the members and for everyone. So that was one of the big reminders that came out of this, that I'm excited to, continue to push the limits and continue to go after some crazy goals.